Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vietnam Stock Market Opportunities. It's an honor to be with you today. And if you want to open a legal trading account, please contact us with the email Vietnamstockmarket.entry@gmail.com. Telegram Vietnamstockmarket.entry with the phone number is 8491-432-6556. Or you can also scan the two QR codes on the screen so that we can support you. And the other way to contact with us is please follow and subscribe the channel name Areca Capital channel. The owner of this YouTube channel is Areca Home Nguyen. She's a personal financial advisor. You can contact her with the email homedanguen@vcft.com.vn with the phone number is 8491-432-6556. And we always welcome you to our office on the 11th floor. 109 Trần Đại Street, Hoàng Kim District, Hà Nội, Vietnam. And today we're going to share with you about the MWG. MWG owns the leading mobile phone and consumer electronics chains in Vietnam with 2020 market shares of 48% and 44% respectively. To sustain strong long-term growth, MWG is rolling out the Bách Hóa Xanh mini-mart chain. This is the report which was collected by Viet Capital Securities on the 14th February 2023 with the current price of mobile world is 42,500 Vietnam dong. Target price 80,300 Vietnam dong. Previous target price 82,000 Vietnam dong. Upside to target price more than 88.9%, dividend yield more than 2.4%, TSR more than 91.3%. Attractively valued on double digits EPS growth outlook. We trim our target price for MWG by 2% but reiterate our buy rating. MWG's current 2023 forward, 2024 forwards PERs of 12.5 times, 9.1 times respectively look appealing compared to our 2022-2025 forwards EPS CAGR forecast of 31%. Our lower target price is mainly due to trimming our aggregate 2023-2025 forwards net profits after tax MI by 3% as we cut aggregate 2023-2025 forwards combined sales of the Thế Zero, including Top Zone and Vietnamstock, including Bluetronics, by 3% due to their weaker than expected results in Q4 2022. And two, lower our net profit forecast for the Ancang pharmacy chain to a net loss of 305 billion Vietnam dong, $13 million compares to our previous forecast of breaking even in 2023 as the chain's 2022 profits tracked behind our expectation per our estimates based on MWG's financial statements. We maintain our expectation that short-term headwinds will weaken Thế Zero and Vietnamstock's combined top-line growth, which we forecast at 5%, 7% in 2023 forward, 2024 forwards respectively, compares to 10% year-over-year in 2022. Nevertheless, we forecast a small net loss at Bách Hóa Xanh of 1.1 trillion Vietnam dong, $49 million in 2023, compares to 2.7 trillion Vietnam dong, $116 million in 2022, and expect the chain to deliver full-year positive net profits in 2025. This is the major driver for our 31% EPS CAGR forecast in 2022 to 2025 forwards. Potential upside catalysts, stronger than expected consumer spending, better than expected improvements at Bách Hóa Xanh, corporate action at Bách Hóa Xanh that could unlock its equity value. Downside risk to our positive view, weaker than expected consumer spending, slower than expected improvements at Bách Hóa Xanh. Zero and Vietnamstock to deliver combined top-line growth of 5%, 7% in 2023 forwards, 2024 forwards. We expect Zero will deliver sales growth of 9%, 12% in 2023 to 2024 forward, which is primarily driven by full-year contributions from 90 new Top Zone stores opened in 2022 and our expectation for Top Zone's SSSG to recover 13% in 2024. We expect the Vietnamstock chain to deliver sales growth of 2%, 5% in 2023 forward, 2024 forward. Additionally, we maintain our expectation that MWG will conduct heavy promotional activities to stimulate demand in 2023, which will further squeeze TGDG and DMX combined profitability. We currently expect Zero and Vietnamstock's net profits after tax growth at less than 10%, 15% year-over-year in 2023 forward, 2024 forward. We maintain our view that improving sales per store and profitability at Vietnamstock will be MWG's main growth driven over the next 3 years. We forecast Vietnamstock's monthly average sales per store to rise 12%, 6% year-over-year to 1.36 billion Vietnam dong, 1.43 billion Vietnam dong, 1.52 billion Vietnam dong in 2023 forward, 2024 forward, 2025 forwards, compared to 1.36 billion Vietnam dong in H2 2022 after the restructuring process. Additionally, we expect Vietnamstock's GPM to inch up by 50 basis points in 2023 forwards and by 100 basis point PA in 2024 forwards, 2025 forwards due to one, a reduced wastage rate compared to 2.7 currently, and two, store expansion resuming after 2023. We expect 300 new Vietnamstock stores to be opened in 2024 forward, 2025 forward. We expect the absence of 500 million Vietnam dong, $21 million of one-off restructuring expenses coupled with GPM and sales per store improvement will reduce Vietnamstock's net loss to 1.1 trillion Vietnam dong, $49 million, 295 billion Vietnam dong, $13 million in 2023 forward, 2024 forward, before delivering full year positive net profits in 2025. 2022 recap. Net profits upside trails expectations, weak net margin. MWG's Q4 2022 and 2022 results. In Q4 2022, MWG's revenue was 30.6 trillion Vietnam dong, $1.3 billion, less than 15% year-over-year, with net profits after tax of 619 billion Vietnam dong, $26 million, less than 60% year-over-year as economic headwinds had a more significant impact. In 2022, MWG's net revenue was 133 trillion Vietnam dong, $5.7 billion, more than 9% year-over-year, with net profits after tax worth 4.1 trillion Vietnam dong, $174 million, less than 16% year-over-year, completing 98% and 96% of our respective previous full year forecasts and behind our expectations. This results imply net revenue of 9.7 trillion Vietnam dong, $412 million, less than 22% year-over-year, and net profits after tax of 104 billion Vietnam dong, $4 million, less than 79% year-over-year in December 2022. Thế giới di động and Vietnamstockmarket aggregate revenue dropped 26% year-over-year in Q4 2022, mainly due to one, the high base in Q4 2021 after the relaxation of social distancing measures in October 2021. In addition to two, weak consumer spending in Q4 2022 in the aftermath of the deterioration of export activities that started in late Q3 2022. Bách Hóa Xanh. In Q4 2022, Bách Hóa Xanh's monthly average revenue store was 1.37 billion Vietnam dong, increasing 45% compared to Q1 2022 with a peak of 1.42 billion Vietnam dong in December 2022, thanks to surging demand for FMCGs before the Tet holiday. Nevertheless, Bách Hóa Xanh's monthly sale per store in Q4 2022 did not improve as significantly as we did in Q2 2022 due to economic headwinds that dampened disposable income for mass consumers. Industrial manufacturing workers, while the number of Bách Hóa Xanh stores in the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh City where industrial manufacturing workers mostly live, accounted for 70% of its total store count. Regarding profitability, in the absence of one-off expenses related to Bách Hóa Xanh's restructuring activities in Q4 2022, Bách Hóa Xanh's net margin advanced 4.3 ppts Q to approximately less than 7% in Q4 2022 per our estimates, in line with management's guidance to prioritize maximizing cash flows over maintaining profitability. MWG's net profit margin dropped 80 basis points Q-off-Q to 2% in Q4 2022. In addition, the company's store expansions stagnated in Q4 2022 as MWG opened 17 super mini Vietnamstockmarket, 22 Top Zone stores, and 5 Arab Blue stores. Consumer electronics joint venture in Indonesia, while closing 29 Ancang stores, 7 AVA kits, and 2 AVA sports stores. At year-end 2022, Thế giới di động store count was 1,190, including 100 Top Zone stores. Vietnamstockmarket store count was 2,284, including 1,036 Vietnamstockmarket stores. Bách Hóa Xanh store count was 1,728. Ancang store count was 500, and AVA kits and AVA sports combined store was count for 76. Now we move to the 2023 forward earnings to recover on small lots at Bách Hóa Xanh. VCSC 2023 forecast. Thế giới di động and Top Zone. VCSC comments on 2023 forwards. We decreased Thế giới di động revenue by 6% due to its lower than expected revenues in 2022. Forecast growth is primarily due to one, low single digits SSSG of Thế giới di động stores, 2, mid-single-digit online sales growth, and 2, a full-year contribution from 90 Top Zone stores opened in 2022. Top Zone to contribute revenue of 4.4 trillion Vietnam dong, $178 million, resulting from a full contributions of 90 new stores opened opened in 2022. Meanwhile, we expect top zones SSSG to drop 10% as a result of quick demand. We expect Top Zone will add 20 stores in Q4 2023, bringing its store count to 120 by year-end 2023. Điện máy xanh and Bluetronics. Backed by low single-digit SSSG and a full-year contribution from 292 Điện máy xanh stores opened in 2022. We project MWG will neither add any Điện máy xanh stores nor Điện máy xanh center stores, 2,500 to 3,000 square meter per store in 2023. Bách Hóa Xanh, driven by a full-year contribution from 1,728 stores at year-end 2022, with improved average monthly sales per store of 1.36 billion Vietnam dong. Ancang, we decreased Ancang's revenue by 6% due to its lower than expected results in 2022. Forecast growth is mainly driven by a full-year contribution from 322 stores opened in 2022. We expect Ancang's blended average monthly sales per store at 440 million Vietnam dong in 2023, compared to 380 million Vietnam dong in 2022 per our estimates. We expect Ancang will add 50 stores in Q4 2022, bringing its store count to 550 by year-end 2023. Net profits after tax and MI. We forecast Bách Hóa Xanh's loss will narrow to 1.1 trillion Vietnam dong, $49 million. We expect Thế Di Động and Điện máy xanh's net profit after tax to drop 10% to 6.4 trillion Vietnam dong, $272 million due to a projected 150 basis point drop in GPM and 20 basis point increase in SG&A sales. We expect Ancang's net loss to be 305 billion Vietnam dong, $13 million in 2023, compared to 306 billion Vietnam dong estimated tax loss as per MWG's CIT declarations for Ancang in 2022 that was disclosed in the company's financial statements. GPM, we increased 2023 GPM by 150 basis points, mainly due to Thế Di Động and Điện máy xanh's GPM being better than expected in 2022. Our forecast 150 basis point drop in Thế Di Động and Điện máy xanh's GPM is the main driver for 2023 forwards. 90 BP dropped in MWG's GPM. Selling EXP per revenue percent. Higher selling expense per revenue due to high promotional activities that not do involve discounting product prices to stimulate demand, producing bonding. Effective tax rate due to a small projected loss from Bách Hóa Xanh, which is not tax deductible and will be carried forward. Valuation, we value MWG using a sum of the parts method, including one 5-year DCF based on free cash flows to equity FCFA for the mobile and consumer electronics businesses, and 10-year DCF for the grocery business. We do not employ a peer-based valuation for MWG due to a limited comparable universe. In addition, in order to factor in the dilution impact of annual ESOP issuance, from the perspective of an external shareholder, we assign our expected FCFE with weightings that reflect their cumulative dilution of projected future ESOP issuance. Summary of VCSC's valuation for MWG. Discounted cash flows. Thế giới di động ngành điện máy xanh. DCF valuation, cash flows. Sensitivity analysis of our target price for MWG in relation to Thế giới di động ngành điện máy xanh DCF, cost of equity and terminal growth rates, ceteris paribus. Discounted cash flows, bách hóa xanh. Cash flows. Sensitivity analysis of our target price for MWG in relation to bách hóa xanh DCF's cost of equity and terminal growth rates, ceteris paribus. Recommendation history. Yeah, and that brings me to the end of my presentation today about MWG. So if you want to open a legal trading account, please contact us with the email and some information on the screen so that we can assist and support you guys. Have a nice day and thank you for your listening. See you next time.